welcome back to the second episode after a months and months long hiatus of Tea-nage Wasteland. This episode on Twinings of London Pumpkin Spice Chai. I realize I haven't done one of these since about September or October, so just need to catch up a little bit. But yeah, so this is what we look like right here. It's just pretty plain package. It's red. Fine black tea, perfectly balanced with the flavors of pumpkin and savory spices of cinnamon, cloves, ginger, nutmeg, and allspice. I want to open it up and get it into the water while it's still hot, and then I'll read you the stuff on the box while it's steeping. It says 4 to 6 minutes. We'll see how long it takes. But first, a sniff test, because I can't take it back once it's in the water. In the tea bag, you smell initially a lot of cinnamon. Almost a bit of like, almost black licorice, I want to say, even though I know that's not in there, it's something else. And definitely the allspice, big time. Like a little hint of ginger. The cloves come out when it hits the water, is what I've found with this one, to the point where my sister, who is pregnant, could not deal with the smell of it because she could only think of corned beef and cabbage, since we always have cloves in both of those. So she could not make the distinction between the two, even though this tastes nothing like that, but ever since she went ahead and said it now, my brain has started to make that leap, and I'm like, no, don't ruin it for me. But yeah, it's sort of an interesting one that I have been having a harder time than expected in trying to properly prepare to see if there is an optimal way of making it. Okay, I think I've got that about where I want it. I'll just let it hang out in there. Alright, so with the box, let's see. Yeah, over here it says, the finest black tea expertly blended with the light flavor of fresh autumn pumpkin and the savory spiced flavors of cinnamon, cloves, ginger, nutmeg, and allspice to deliver a flavorful tea with an inviting aroma and fresh taste. So, other than that, I'm trying to see if there's anything else different from the other Twinings tea box that I read to you guys from in the Irish breakfast tea review. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is all about the same. But in the recommendations on this one, where are they? I just saw it earlier. Oh my gosh. Ah, there it is. Okay. So, if you enjoy Twinings Pumpkin Spice Chai, we recommend that you try Twinings Spiced Apple Chai or Twinings French Vanilla Chai. For other seasonal teas, try Twinings Christmas Tea or Winter Spice Herbal Tea. I know I have those last two. I'm not sure about the others. I have to go through my box of teas to see if I've got them or if they're ones I still need to pick up at some point. But yeah, this one, a big thing you need to get out of your mind right off the bat with this is that it's pumpkin spice chai tea. It is not a pumpkin spice latte. There is nothing you can do that will make this taste like a pumpkin spice latte, no matter what. I went into it expecting that, even though I knew logically it wasn't going to be anything like one, and yet my brain was still disappointed when it didn't taste like one, even though it's not supposed to. So yeah, there is that aspect of it that just because it's so ingrained in our American culture with the pumpkin spice lattes to just expect that to be what pumpkin spice anything tastes like now, it is a little bit jarring when you have something that you're expecting to now taste like that just plain isn't going to, no matter what you do to it. I tried everything, even adding literal pumpkin pie spice into it. I tried using the pumpkin spice syrup to see if maybe I could force it to taste more like one of the Starbucks drinks that way. No, and it ended up disgusting. Don't try it. I just save your money, save your time, save your taste buds. Just trust me on this one. It was not good. But yeah, just in the difficulty in trying to get this one to taste good, I'm just gonna tell you right now that it's not one of my more highly rated teas, and I'm basically just trying to go through the box of this and get it done and over with, so none of it goes to waste, but at the same time, just to get it done and over with, you know? I mean, it wasn't cheap, so I don't want it to go to waste, but at the same time, it is probably one of my least favorite ones I've got in my collection, believe it or not. So, yeah, has it been long enough? I don't know. Well, anyway, now that it has been steeping, the main thing that you smell now, you still smell a lot of cinnamon, but the overwhelming smell of anything else now is cloves. Which is kind of weird given that you basically didn't even smell them in the bag, but in the water. The second it hits the water, the cloves overtake the whole thing. And this is also ginger's chance to shine, because you smell that a lot more now, too. So, I'm trying to think if any of the other smells are really prominent here. There is like a sort of little bit of an earthy hint in there, which I'm guessing is the natural pumpkin flavoring in here. But I mean, again, since we're all just so programmed to expect the Starbucks pumpkin spice lattes, it's almost like, oh yeah, I forgot that's what a real pumpkin tastes like. I don't think I like real pumpkins. Yeah, so, that's about it for smell, but for taste, it's not terrible. I mean, it's not like the most disgusting tea on the planet or anything. It just is one of those things where your brain is expecting one thing, and then it doesn't deliver that thing, even though it was never meant to in the first place. And it's just a bit of a barrier that's really hard to get past with it, you know? I'd be interested to know what some of my friends across the pond think of this flavor if they sell it there. I would assume. I mean, it's Twinings of London. I would assume they sell it there, but who knows? But yeah, I would be very curious to know how they feel about this particular flavor, if they have that same problem of expecting it to taste like Starbucks and then it doesn't, and just being kind of disappointed with it. But, I'm trying to think of how exactly to describe the taste to you guys. Keep in mind, this is with no milk added to it. This is with no sugar or honey or anything added to it. I've tried with milk, and every time I try, it just ends up disgusting. I am generally not a milk in tea person, so I typically opt to not do that. Part of it's probably that I'm lactose intolerant, and milk and I do not get along well, okay? So even just adding a little splash in there, I'm like, oh, okay, I just made the whole thing gross and now I have to drink it. Fab. But yeah, so I did not put any in this. It was just water till I put the tea bag in there. Sometimes I've tried honey, sometimes I've tried sugar, sometimes I've tried both, but I don't know, it just tastes off when you do that, so I'm gonna review this without, especially since to review a tea, I would imagine you guys would want it as is, and if you want to add something to it on your own, feel free. But yeah, so, there's definitely a spiciness to it, not in the way of heat, but just in terms of there are a bunch of spices that are all in here that you basically taste more at the back of your palate than anything, like right after you swallow it. They become prominent. Yeah, I mean, it's a very mellow tea. It's not anything like the Irish breakfast tea where it kind of kicks you in the taste buds a little bit and gives you that jolt. No, this one's very mellow. It's very laid back. This is like a very good relax and read a book while you drink some tea kind of a tea, or anything like that. But yeah, the taste of the cloves kind of overwhelms everything else, I'm finding. Although you do get a little bit of the prickly spiciness of the ginger along like the sides of your tongue, a little bit, but it's more cloves than anything in my opinion. But at the same time, you're smelling the cinnamon in it every time you go to take a sip, so your brain is basically interpreting cinnamon even though you're not really consciously tasting it. Your brain is kind of thinking it is, even though it isn't. if that makes any sense whatsoever. I don't think it does outside my head. I'm sorry. This one's just a really hard one to try and describe accurately, I'm finding. But yeah, it's definitely not bad or anything. It just definitely not one of my favorite ones either. I mean, the Bigelow version of it, I know I hate to go with American over British, but in this case, I prefer the Bigelow version of it, but it's also not chai, so maybe that makes all the difference. I don't know. But, it'll get a review too, don't worry. But, yeah, this one, maybe it's that I went so long without drinking it to now where I'm like, well, why did I dislike it so bad when I first tried it? It's not that bad. But at the same time, I'm like, it's also not that great. It's just kind of, it's so-so. I could take or leave it, honestly. But I will point out, the first couple of times I drank this, I let it steep longer than I meant to, and the spices absolutely absorb into the water when you do this. And they were enough to trigger a small asthma attack for me. So, disclaimer, for any fellow asthmatics that want to try this one, make sure you've taken your maintenance, whichever drug you're on, before you drink this stuff. And even so, have your rescue inhaler nearby just in case. I mean, mine wasn't that bad, but it was enough to trigger it off a little bit. Spicy things do that to me sometimes. So, yeah, I didn't know how spicy it was gonna be, so I forgot to have mine with me, and it wasn't the greatest experience. I'm just gonna put it like that. But yeah, you don't really taste pumpkin in this. I mean, like I said, you kind of barely smell it in the bag, but you don't really taste it. I keep trying to find that flavor in here anywhere, and I'm just not. I've even done that thing where you swill it in your mouth a bit and just, no, I'm getting all the spices. It just tastes like a typical chai tea. I'm getting no pumpkin from that. I'm getting a lot of clove from it that I feel like I don't normally get with most chai teas, but other than that, it is just a very standard run-of-the-mill chai tea, and I'm honestly kind of disappointed given that they said it's pumpkin spice, so therefore I was expecting it to taste like pumpkin spice, and then it didn't. So I'm just like, what the heck? You guys lied to me. You said there's pumpkin in this, and I'm sure somewhere buried deep in it, there must be some amount of it, or they wouldn't be able to sell it as that, but hell if I can find it. Similarly, although I haven't reviewed this one for you guys yet either, the Tazo Organic Peach Cobbler one that is supposed to be peach, all I get out of that is apple. And reading the ingredients on it, yeah, there is apple in there. It says nothing about peach, so for whatever that's worth, I'll eventually do a proper review on that one too, but not today. But yeah, it's weird how certain ones, it's supposed to taste like one thing and it just doesn't. And then you're just let down. It's like, oh, I wasted my money on this thing. A good amount of it for tea. Because I had to import this, because nowhere locally sells this. I couldn't even find it in a US store online from a reputable dealer. So I had to buy it directly from Twinings, and it was shipped from overseas. So I had to pay a good amount just to get this in the first place. That's why I'm so disappointed that it doesn't taste more like what it's supposed to, you know? I mean, hopefully I'm gonna feel better about the other chais that I bought from them, but then again, they aren't claiming to be a specific flavor in most cases, so those I probably will like more, because I won't go into it expecting a certain thing that it's not gonna deliver on. You know? It's disappointing, but it is what it is. I was hoping maybe by adding the milk to it, maybe it would bring out a little tiny bit of pumpkin from somewhere, but no. No. And then the clove and the milk just fought with each other taste-wise, and it was icky. I'm sorry, it was not great. I tried some of the pumpkin spice creamer that was limited edition last fall with it, just to see, maybe can I force it this way, but it just tasted like the creamer, and it didn't really work with tea the way it does with coffee. In coffee, I was loving the stuff, but in this, it just, I don't think I was able to drink the whole cup, honestly. I think that was one of the ones I did have to dump and then felt really guilty about doing it. But yeah, this, I mean, there's no way I could ever drink this particular flavor every day. Given how long it's been, I'm like, it's been long enough in between to where I'm like, it's okay as a one-off thing, but given it's just not one of my favorites, I would definitely not drink this as a daily thing. And I can't imagine, really, that a lot of people would intentionally go to this specific one over other things if given a choice. So, yeah, I'm just really let down with it. Still gonna drink it, because like I said, I spent a good amount of money, so I'm not gonna waste it when I didn't ruin it with milk this time. But, yeah, in terms of a rating, I actually am only going to give this a 2 out of 5. I suppose it's possible that it could have been worse. I have actually not really encountered, knock on wood, I have not encountered a completely disgusting tea yet to date, so I'm not going to give it a 1. I'll reserve that for when and if that should happen, but yeah, I basically was just really disappointed with this one more than anything. It's not that it tastes bad, it's just that it doesn't taste like what it's supposed to. And no, I'm not expecting it to taste, well, my brain is, but logically, I am not expecting it to taste like a Starbucks. I'm just expecting it to taste like pumpkin on some level, on some planet, but not at all in here. I get none from it whatsoever, and I have tried, guys. I have tried. This is all that is left in the box. Let me straighten those up to properly show you. I have gone through most of this box trying desperately to make it taste like what it's supposed to, and have just failed over and over and over again with it. It's very frustrating. I'm definitely not buying this one again, which is a bummer, because usually I love Twinings, but this particular flavor, it's a bummer. So, that's about all I have to say on this. So, as usual, if you like this video, click the like button. If you're not already and you'd like to be, click subscribe. Leave comments down below. Have you ever tried this one? What did you guys think of it? Would you try this one, just out of curiosity? Do you have any recommendations of specific flavors, not just of Twinings, but of any easily attainable tea brand that you think I should try? Leave them all down in the comments below, or anything else that you can think of, really. Until next time.